Hello and welcome to another episode of Disney Movie Investigations. If this is your first time watching, welcome to the show. Each episode we take a look at a movie that is featured on Disney+. On this episode, we are continuing our look at Who Framed Roger Rabbit as we take a look at the movie itself as well as a look into the theme park history featuring Roger Rabbit. And if you are enjoying these videos, please do hit that subscribe button. That way you will be notified with each new episode. But for now, sit back and enjoy this second part of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So let's take a look at the cast of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. So we have Bob Hoskins, who plays Eddie Valiant. We have Christopher Lloyd, who plays Judge Doom. Stubby Kaye, who plays Marvin Acme. And we have Alan Tilvern, who plays R.K. Maroon. Joanna Cassidy, who plays Dolores. Charles Fleischer provides the voice of both Roger Rabbit and Benny the Cab. Kathleen Turner provides the voice of Jessica Rabbit. And Lou Hirsch provides the voice of Baby Herman. So now that we know the players, let's take a look at the plot. So it is 1940s Los Angeles, in a world where humans and toons coexist. A famous toon known as Roger Rabbit has life pretty easy until he discovers that his wife, Jessica Rabbit, is cheating on him with the head of the Acme Gag Company. Things take a turn for the worse as Roger is now accused of murdering Marvin Acme, and Roger must turn to a down-and-out detective named Eddie Valiant, who has a vendetta for toons. He helps Roger against his own will, trying to clear Roger's name. In order to do this, though, Eddie must get over his hatred of toons, as well as traveling into an area that he vowed never to return, Toontown. So in terms of the marketing, Disney and CEO Michael Eisner, Roy Disney, the vice chairman as well, had issues with the film, saying that the film was too risque for the Disney company with too many sexual references. However, director Robert Zemeckis had final cut privileges and he refused to make any alterations to the film. In order to solve this problem, Roy Disney and Jeffrey Katzenberg decided to place the film under the Touchstone Pictures banner instead of the Walt Disney Pictures banner. This film would become the second highest grossing film of 1988, only being right under Rain Man. The film would receive several Academy Awards, including film editing, sound effects editing, best visual effects, as well as a special achievement award towards Richard Williams for outstanding animation. In terms of merchandise, there was tons of merchandise to help promote the film, and several toys were created to market the film, including Roger Rabbit plush, action figures, as well as Jessica Rabbit and Roger Rabbit also appeared in a Diet Coke commercial to help promote the film. Funko Pops were created for both Roger Rabbit, Jessica Rabbit, and Judge Doom, as well as McDonald's created collector cups to help promote the movie. Roger Rabbit also appeared in video games, as the video game that was released in the US, Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle, was actually redesigned for Japan to feature Roger Rabbit. Roger Rabbit would also have his own video games in the States, as he would be featured on video games for Nintendo, Commodore 64, MS-DOS, and the Game Boy. A follow-up game called Roger Rabbit Hair Rising Havoc was also released for the Amiga and the MS-DOS systems. In terms of comic books, Disney Comics released a comic book adaptation of the film, along with 5 follow-up issues called Roger Rabbit's Toontown, which lasted, like I said, 5 issues, and then another series called Roger Rabbit, The Resurrection of Doom, lasted 2 issues. There was also a follow-up with animated shorts, as Walt Disney produced 3 follow-up shorts that would air in front of theatrical movies. The 3 shorts, Tummy Trouble, Roller Coaster Rabbit, and Trail Mix-Up, appeared in front of Disney Touchstone Pictures. Tummy Trouble appeared in front of Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Roller Coaster Rabbit appeared in front of Dick Tracy, and the Trail Mix-Up appeared in front of A Far Off Place. A fourth short was scheduled called A Hair in My Soup, but that was canceled due to disagreements between CEO Michael Eisner and Steven Spielberg. Roger Rabbit was also included in the television special for Mickey Mouse's 60th birthday. In terms of the theme parks, Roger Rabbit was a huge presence, as this was a hugely successful film. A statue of Roger Rabbit to this day can be seen at the Pop Century Hotel, where Roger Rabbit is standing over top of a barrel of turpentine. Also, in Pleasure Island, initially in Walt Disney World, there was a Jessica's of Hollywood store that sold adult lingerie. And the key note of this is it had a huge neon sign with Jessica Rabbit, and her leg would move up and down. Roger was also the conductor of the newly created Spectro Magic Parade for both Disneyland and Disney World. In terms of Disney World and MGM Studios, Roger Rabbit was included in the opening ceremonies of the park, and he was a focal point of this new park as there was featured in many promotional photos and signage for the park. Roger would also appear as meet and greets inside the park, and then even to this day, there's still some Roger Rabbit throughout the park. As you can see, a billboard for maroon cartoons above the kind of Echo Lake area, and that, as well as you can see Eddie Valiant's office in one of the upstairs windows right above the 50 Primetime Diner area. And it's kind of funny because this is a mechanical prop for it, so you see the window that Roger Rabbit has crashed out of above that. However, there was a much bigger plan. There was intended for a Roger Rabbit land, as this would have been part of the Sunset Boulevard expansion, and this, to give you some perspective, would have been where Rock and Roller Coaster is today. This area would be themed to Maroon Cartoon Studios, and it would include 3 different attractions. The first one being the Toontown Trolley, which was a simulator attraction that have guests board a trolley piloted by Roger Rabbit. This is very similar to what Star Tours is, and it would have featured kind of the cartoons, the Toontown area. Baby Herman's Runaway Baby Buggy Ride, which would have been a dark ride attraction where guests would ride in a giant baby carriage, and then you would go through scenes through the short of Tummy Trouble. And then finally, the Benny the Cab Ride, which is a dark ride as well, where guests would ride Benny the Cab in a cartoon adventure. This is what Roger's Cartoon Spin would become, and that's it's a shame that unfortunately we didn't get it in Disney World. But it is Roger's Cartoon Spin is also included in Tokyo Disneyland. The Roger Rabbit land that was supposed to be would also include restaurants as well as meet and greets for both Jessica Rabbit and Baby Herman. The reason that it did not happen is for several reasons. When Disneyland Paris was financially unsuccessful, a lot of the future expansion of Disney World got put on hold or dropped. Another reason is that the character of Roger Rabbit is half owned by both Disney and half owned by Steven Spielberg. There were many disagreements on how the character would be used for both merchandise and theme parks that Disney decided to focus on characters that they owned. In terms of a history perspective, Roger Rabbit came out right before the Disney Renaissance. So Disney, after Roger Rabbit, had a plethora of characters that they gave use, including Ariel, the Genie, the characters from Beauty and the Beast, as well as characters from Lion King. So unfortunately, they did not want to go through the hassle of negotiating with Steven Spielberg every time they wanted to use Roger. The other problem where Steven Spielberg had is that with the theatrical shorts, he wanted Trail Mix-Up to be placed in... he wanted Roger the Roller Coaster Rabbit to be placed in front of his film Arachnophobia, but Michael Eisner superseded and said that it would be placed in front of Dick Tracy, so Steven Spielberg was kind of miffed. This kind of leads into why there is no Roger Rabbit sequel. Several attempts have been made to make a Roger Rabbit sequel. In 1989, Steven Spielberg hired J.J. Abrams to write a sequel, but that was ultimately abandoned. Nat Muldin was also hired to write a prequel for Roger Rabbit called Roger Rabbit Toon Platoon. This would have followed the story of Roger becoming a star and meeting Jessica. Later reworked as Who Discovered Roger Rabbit, it got so far along that actually Alan Menken was hired to write a demo for a song that would be included. This song in its entirety can be seen on YouTube, a fan-made creation. It's actually quite a great song, so I definitely recommend you check it out. These sequels have always been stuck inside of development. the problem is that not all the parties are wanting to sign off on one. And then, unfortunately, with the death of Bob Hoskins, it kind of went further into development and it hasn't got anywhere past that. There has been renewed hope, though, with Disney Plus, as there have been talks about doing a sequel specifically for Disney Plus. So hopefully we can get a Roger Rabbit sequel soon. And then this is actually recent news, is that the trailer for the Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers movie featured a cameo of Roger Rabbit. So it's not in any indication that he's a huge part of the film, but the fact that they're still willing to use Roger Rabbit in certain areas is kind of has high hopes for what the future of Roger Rabbit has. So in terms of recommendation, this is one of my favorite Disney movies. Anyone who knows me knows that this is like one of my all-time favorite. I have a huge collection of Roger Rabbit kind of memorabilia, whether it be art or action figures. I actually have a Roger Rabbit script that I purchased from a Comic-Con. So again, I'm a huge Roger Rabbit fan. So I'm a little biased in this one, but I think this is what started the Disney Renaissance. I think it kickstarted so many of the films that we love in terms of Little Mermaid, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, Lion King. I don't think those movies would have been as successful without this Roger Rabbit kind of re-sparking the animation craze. So I love the movie in terms of the story, in terms of the characters. Every time I watch this movie, I see something different. So definitely one that I recommend. Overall, again, definitely recommend it. So you should check this one out. So thank you for watching our part 2 of Who Framed Roger Rabbit. I would love to hear in the comments below what you guys think of Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and do you think we'll ever see a sequel? It'd be interesting to kind of start that discussion. So in terms of our next episode, we're going to be looking at the epic drama Australia, starring Hugh Jackman and Nicole Kidman. So until next time, I hope you have a magical day, and we will see you real soon.